Today was our first full day at the field station, and it was a boat day. So first thing in the morning we hopped on the boat and our stop was at Rat Cay. Rat Cay is a fringing coral reef as well as an oceanic blue hole. So the students were able to snorkel around that. We left there and went to Three Sisters, which is an example of a patch reef. Patch reefs are a little different than fringing reefs in that they don't occur next to land. We had a quick stop at Saddleback Cay for lunch. Saddleback Cay is gorgeous. It's basically a deserted island, so the students kind of spread out and relaxed a little bit, grabbed a bite to eat. And then we finished the day by going to two other spots. The first was the Tongue of the Ocean, and I would say this was the most challenging for our students. Tongue of the Ocean is a 6,000-foot drop, and when you get out into the open ocean, there's not much that you can see other than just pure blue water. So all the students got out, we took some conch shells, and we dropped them and basically just watched them until they went out of sight. At this place you can see about 200 feet straight down, so it was really exciting. It was quite adventurous for many of them. And our last stop for the day was a place called Cardo Flats, and I think this was everybody's favorite. There were some really large coral formations as well as a lot of different types of fish that we hadn't seen in some of the previous stops. So all in all, I think it was a really good day. The students really conquered their fears of snorkeling, and I think they really just dove in with both feet.
So today we went snorkeling, and I was really skeptical at first. I was kind of scared to be that far out in the ocean, but once we got there it was really cool to see, and I'd definitely go back.
So today we went snorkeling and I had a lot of fun. It was interesting to see all of the fish and coral reefs, and it was kind of weird trying to get used to the masks because I wanted to breathe through my nose, but you can only breathe through your mouth. But other than that, it was pretty fun. So I'd definitely do it again.
Alright, my favorite spot was Cardo Flats. It basically felt like I was swimming in an aquarium. I saw more fish and coral than I've ever seen, and like compared to other reefs, of course. And it was so colorful, and when the sun came out it made everything 10 times bigger, and I felt like I was part of the fish when they kept swimming beside me. So it was pretty awesome being a first-time snorkeler this year.
Today is day 2 at the field station, and today's a land day. So our first stop was heading down a logging road near the field station, and our first group is going to collect data today. We are doing what's called a fixed radius plot, and we have measured out 8 meters, and we're going to create a circle with an 8-meter radius. And the students are going to take a measurement called diameter breast height, which is the diameter of the tree at 54 inches above the ground. And they're going to sample all of the trees that are in this particular plot, and then we're going to do multiple plots. The reason that we chose this particular area to start with is that there has been no burning of the underbrush. So we're going to pick another spot later on that has had a controlled burn and compare the diameter of the breast height in trees that have had that controlled burn versus those in the natural environment. Today was our third day at the field station, and it was another boat day. Today, two different student groups started their data collection. So one group is doing fish identification and looking at the different species of fish that you would see at a patch reef versus tomorrow we're going to visit an artificial reef. And another group is doing a similar project with corals. So both students have been able to sit through an identification lecture where some of the interns from the station were able to teach them what the different species were that were common to the area and what kinds of things to look for. So the first day that we went snorkeling, they kind of just got used to what species of fish and coral they were seeing. And today they brought down dive slates and dive keys, which they were able to take underwater and use pencils to write on these slates underwater in order to record the number of fish and coral species that they saw. So I think today was a really good day for data collection. We had really good weather. You know, the water was pretty calm, so I think it was a good day for them.
We went snorkeling a few different places today. My favorite was Dave's Patch Reef. I saw a lot of different coral and fish, and I saw a really big lobster. I've never seen a lobster that big in my life. And the damselfish was really cool because I got to kind of watch it scare its other fish that were trying to get near its coral away. And it even looked at me and I thought it was going to attack me, so it was kind of funny. Yeah, that was my favorite place we went today.
My favorite was Kevin's Patch Reef, the first reef we went to, and I liked snorkeling a lot better today because we actually knew what we were looking at and what to look for, so that was pretty cool because you could identify the different types of fish and the different types of coral. And then we went to the island at Pigeon Key. That was really cool to see all the different types of erosion because you always learn about it in class, but you've never actually seen it happen, and the blue hole was really cool. Or not the blue hole, the blowhole. Yeah. And when we were at Pigeon Key, we also did a gonio lab. So we cracked open this gonio and we looked at the different invertebrates in it. And there was a bunch of different ones in all of ours. I thought the coolest one was this shrimp, and it punches. So I'd get next to this star and it'd keep punching the star and you could hear it underwater. It was really cool. I got a video of it.
So today was my favorite day so far because we got to see the animal that I have been looking for since we got here, and that was the sea hare. So sea hares are mollusks, but they have an internal shell. So they basically just look like these big, gigantic slugs. Some of them we found were as large as footballs. And we visited Blue Hole Key, and as soon as I got off the boat and put my mask in the water, the first thing I saw was a sea hare. It made my whole day. And as we swam around, we saw probably 24 or so more, and they were the largest ones that I've ever seen. So that will probably be the highlight of my trip. I'm super excited to see those.
What day is it, guys? Boat day!
Okay, so today was our final day here. First, we went to Red Bays today, and it was really awesome. We kind of got to take a sneak peek into people's culture on a different side of the island, and we got to learn how they get a lot of their income by weaving baskets and carving mahogany and stuff like that into different animals and things.
And we got to try different fruits, and we also there was this man, Wilton was it?
Mm-hmm.
He was singing and dancing for us and playing his guitar, and his cousin Tito was there too, and they were just jamming away, and it made the whole day a lot better. And then we also went to
Atala, which was the second place that we collected our data for the our tree measuring. And we haven't done any data analysis yet, but from what we can tell, the DBH is definitely going to be larger in these trees than in the natural coppice that we went to. This coppice had been burned. So.
Yeah, recently. I think she said like 2 years ago or something.
Start my data collection today. I'm looking at the different types of coral and patch reefs and just all the different types of reefs. And so we went to 2 different patch reefs today, so I just kind of looked at the different types of coral there.
So from your preliminary data, what are you seeing the most of? Hard corals, soft corals? Were you able to identify any of the species?
I'm seeing a lot of like sea rods and brain coral and starlet coral. So those are the main ones, and mustard hill coral.
So that's kind of actually a mixture of the hard and soft. Good.
While collecting data over the intertidal zone, my hypothesis is that there will be a greater number of organisms as we go closer to the ocean.
In addition to a greater number of organisms, we also think that there's going to be a greater variety of different species the closer that you get to the ocean.
fish identification at different reefs that we go to. Like today we went to 3 different. We went to Kevin's Patch Reef, Dave's Patch Reef, and Blue Hole Key. And just seeing the variety of fish there is just amazing at one point, because I'm a high girl and do not see anything like this. I'm just out of my bubble. But the highlight today is I saw a doctorfish, which was pretty cool. It was all black and it had like the tips of its fins were neon blue, which I thought that was pretty cool. Very intimidating, but I like those. She saw a striped parrotfish. Yes?
Yeah, the striped parrotfish was really pretty. Also, where was it? Oh, that giant lobster. We saw a giant lobster at Dave's Patch Reef, and it was like hiding under a rock. And yeah, it was kind of freaking me out a little bit, but it's okay.
And a lionfish, not gonna lie, because that was pretty cool. And we even speared 3 more, so we saw 3 more that day also, dead. But my project is identifying fish, as you can tell, but we are identifying fish at various reefs, and we concluded, or our hypothesis is, that there's more variety of fish at patch reefs compared to others. So, see how it goes.
aside from the gnarly sunburn and bug bites, was easily all the friends I made. So we started out, I didn't think they even knew my name. And then at the airport, it was kind of like hey, let's go here, hey, let's go here. So it was kind of getting close, and by the second or third day we were easily like just like we knew each other forever. And it was really nice because, you know, like a lot of times it's hard to find friends that don't judge you and like all this stuff, and they're like legit, true, genuine people. And we already made plans to hang out like in the future, so I'd say we're gonna stick together for a while, but that was easily my favorite part.
I'd have to say probably my favorite part of the whole entire week was jumping into Captain Bill's blue hole, just because it was so big and it was like a 12-foot like ledge that we jumped off of, and I was scared at first and then just like kept jumping off because it was so much fun. And we played games and it was like relaxing, and we were all just like having fun and hanging out, and yeah, so.
My favorite part of the week was getting to know everyone, for one. And then I really liked, my favorite snorkeling spot was Cardo's Flats, because you were really like surrounded by everything. And then my favorite spot on the land day was the Captain Bill's Blue Hole, because we all just got to hang out and have fun and jump off the platform, so that was a lot of fun.
I really liked this trip a lot in general, but my two favorite things are probably just boat days in general, because I've never been snorkeling before, and that was really cool to see the reefs and the different fish and all that. And throughout the week we got better at identifying what types they were and everything, so that was pretty cool too. You could actually tell you were learning stuff. And the second favorite part was like I actually learned a lot on this trip, like, and I don't know, I really liked the cool stories. Like a couple of them were the Nereids. They had red in their shell, and that's actually sand that blew over from the Sahara Desert, and I thought that was really cool. And then Uncle Charlie's, how there's a dead body underneath of it and it's actually very well preserved. I thought that was really cool as well. And also the story of Captain Morgan's, how he used a goat to make it look like it was a lighthouse, and he put the light around the goat. I thought that was pretty cool, and we actually got to see the cave that he put all his treasure in after he stole it from the ships that he made wreck. I actually didn't know that about Captain Morgan. I didn't know anything about him, but I thought that was pretty cool to learn that. So I did learn a lot on this trip, and I really like the little stories that I learned that I probably never would have learned if I didn't come on this trip.
So this week was really interesting. I think my favorite thing to do this whole week was go snorkeling. It's something I might never get to do again. This week really brought out a different side of me. I got to kind of be myself around these people where I never have before, because we haven't been that close. I got out of my comfort zone a lot. I did a lot of things that I thought I would never do in my whole life, and I got to make some forever friends, and for that I'm eternally grateful.
So overall, I think I made the right choice when I decided to go on this trip. Very glad that I decided to go. I think this trip really forces you to break barriers that you normally wouldn't, and I think that's pretty important for anyone who's, you know, just trying to better themselves. And yeah, I'm very glad I came.
So this trip at the Bahamas was very interesting, and like I feel like it was a once in a lifetime experience. My favorite part was just honestly spending time with different people that I've actually never met in my life until now, and everyone really got along and we had an awesome time. And I feel like I've made some really good friends this trip. And this scuba diving, or snorkeling, sorry, was awesome, and I feel like I will never be able to do that again. So I felt like that was very meaningful to me, and I learned a lot from it. So I really hope that everyone enjoyed this trip as much as I did, and everyone got as much experience from it and took a lot from it. So yes, I'm very glad I came, and I'm very glad I got the opportunity to come.
So starting this week in the Bahamas, I was really nervous to come because, well, we just didn't know each other very well,
And I knew I would go out of my comfort zone a lot, but I'm really glad I came because just getting to know everybody and all the cool stuff that we got to experience that I probably wouldn't have got to if I didn't come. So I'm just really glad that I came.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to see how different life is here than it is back home. They do a lot of things different, and people seem to live a very different life here.
Alrighty, my favorite part of this whole trip has to be snorkeling. The first time getting in the water. They even freaked out because I thought something was wrong with me because they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was so excited just getting in the water. I felt like I was in an aquarium the whole time. Best feeling ever. I probably will never do it again. Like, I really want to, but like just ever. But the thing is, I wasn't even going to come. I even had the other class picked out for the honors program, but then I finally convinced my parents to let me come, and Daryl's like, "Bang, I can get you in." So I'm super excited that happened. And I was very hesitant because me and the girls, we really didn't know, and James, we didn't really talk as much, but then we all had family night and we played spoons, and I felt like that after that we were just fine. I felt like this trip was needed, and all of us really connected. We don't want to leave, of course we don't want to leave, but I think this changed everybody throughout the day. Through the week, I should say, my bad, but best trip ever.